Hey there guys, it's Tina and I'm back. And I hope you guys are all doing well and staying safe. If you're also back, welcome back. Thank you so much for joining me again. But if you're new and maybe you like what you see, please consider subscribing because we have tons of fun here on this channel talking about makeup and all things beauty. And I wanted to go ahead and wish you guys a very, very happy holiday. The festivities are up on us and I hope you guys are enjoying the season however you celebrate. I'm just happy you're here joining me today for this video so we can celebrate a year of beauty. So as usual at the end of the year I like to wrap up with my favorites. Well, that's a lie. That's a lie, I take it back, okay? Last year I didn't do a yearly favorites, but this year it was a little bit more manageable and I was more excited about my favorites this year, so I definitely want to go ahead and share with you my favorites of 2022. This is going to be my best of beauty, so if that sounds interesting to you, let's go ahead and jump right into it. So here are all the goodies, probably giving you guys a few spoilers, but this is a lot more manageable this year and I feel like we can get through this video pretty quickly, and I am going to go through the products in the way I would apply them to the face. That just makes more sense to me. So let's dive right in with skin prep. Now I'm not going to include skincare in this video like my cleansers. I just feel like I use too many products and I mix in different things here or there for there really to be standout favorites, but I do have standout skin prep moisturizers for makeup. These are the moisturizers that I use to prep and prime my skin before applying foundation and the rest of my makeup, and I think these are definitely worth mentioning. So first up we have the Lancome Hydra Zen Anti-Stress Moisturizing Gel Cream. I think I picked this up during the Ulta 21 Days of Beauty during the spring where it was 50% off because this is quite pricey, but that 50% off made it a little bit more inviting to try out. And the fact that it says gel cream, automatically I was intrigued. It is a very lightweight, airy moisturizer that is more of a gel formulation, so it feels cooling on the skin, very lightweight, very airy, almost a little wet, and it absorbs really quickly. So if you have oily skin like I do but you still want to apply a moisturizer, this is ideal for you. It does have a fragrance, but it's a pleasant fragrance. It smells a little bit like, I don't know how to explain it, it just smells like that signature luxury moisturizer scent. It's really comforting. It's an experience when I'm applying this. Again, it feels great, it absorbs well, and that scent also adds to the sensorial experience, so I really, really love it. Another moisturizer that I picked up because it was on sale again is the Kiehl's Ultra Facial Oil-Free Gel Cream. This is recommended for normal to oily skin types, so I wouldn't recommend this for dry or sensitive skin. It says 24-hour hydration and shine control. Now that automatically intrigued me. I was like, tell me more. It goes on to say our fast absorbent cooling formula with micronized amino acid visibly reduces shine all day and helps minimize excess oil over time to diminish the appearance of pores. Excuse me, all right? Say less. I'm all about it. So I went ahead and picked this up. Again, it's a lightweight gel cream. It does feel wet, so it gives that cooling effect. It absorbs really quickly again, so that makes it perfect for applying makeup over. It just works, and I do find that my makeup lasts a little bit longer before I start getting shiny throughout the day. And again, it's very comfortable on the skin. It doesn't feel too hydrating. I don't feel like my skin is greasy and oily at all. It's just very comfortable. And this is a very, very nice moisturizer. The next one I tried out is a recommendation from one of you guys. So thank you so much for recommending this to me. So this is the 𝕊𝕦𝕡𝕒𝕟 Peptide for Adaptive Day Cream. Now this one is not a gel cream formula. The selling point about this one is that it can be used as a day cream or as a primer under makeup. And even though it's a thicker formula, it's a more creamy texture, it does absorb really well without leaving behind, again, that greasy feel. I don't feel overly hydrated, overly moisturized, because my skin, again, it's oily. It doesn't really need heavy moisture because it's already going to produce its own oils. And it also says this adaptive cream helps create a flawless looking complexion. And I think that is so true, and it works so well under makeup. So I can use this as my moisturizing and skin prep step. I just use a little bit, like I don't overdo it with this one. Again, it's a thicker formula, so I use a little bit, spread it all over my face. It absorbs really well and works well under makeup. This cream almost helps to balance my skin and extend the longevity of my makeup. So instead of getting really super greasy after 3 or 4 hours, this extends that to about 5-6 hours. And even when I do get that oil breakthrough on my skin, it looks almost controlled, you know? It's a very, hey, I'm glowy shine, rather than the, oh my God, you're greasy, blot the hell down. You know what I mean? So I do buy into that adaptive day cream. I feel like it's living up to that. So these 3 moisturizers have been my favorite throughout the year. All right, let's talk about primers, because those also come into play when it comes to making my base makeup look fantastic. So the 2 that I've been enjoying are actually from Milk Makeup, both of them, I know. So the first one is the Milk Makeup Pore Eclipse Mattifying Primer. This debuted this year, so I can speak about this as a new release. This is fantastic. It does help to mattify my skin. Again, it's kind of like a balancing product. It doesn't necessarily dry out my skin or make my skin feel tight like some other mattifying primers can do, because instead of just balancing your skin, they kind of just dry out your skin, and then your skin overproduces oil, and then it's counterintuitive. So this one almost balances my skin, gives my makeup something to cling on to, and then again, my makeup doesn't wear down as quickly. I really love this, and it has this cooling formula as well. It's more of a light cream product rather than a silicone slippery formula, and that I think also helps with how makeup sticks to it. It's really comfortable. It has a little cooling effect to it. It does mattify my skin in areas that I need it to. And it adds a little smoothing as well, but not like intense smoothing. But I really fell in love with this primer. The next one is not new to the market, but it was kind of new to me this year. I finally just went ahead and grabbed it because I tried this one out and liked it so much that I was like, all right, I'm gonna try this one out. And I started out with the little travel size, so they have a smaller size of this if you just want to test it out, which is what I did, because you know I'm wary about what's going on. So I grabbed the little travel size and I used it almost all the way up, and I said, oh, we're gonna need to get a full size, because this primer, I didn't tell you what it is yet. So this is the Milk Makeup Hydro Grip Primer, and you've probably heard about it all over the interwebs. People love this primer. That grip, the name itself threw me off initially because it says hydro, first of all, and I'm like, no, I'm oily, I don't need no hydration, leave me alone, okay? I need mattification. So if it's a hydrating primer, I don't want it. And then the grip and how people explained it as being sticky, I was like, ew, that sounds horrendous. People that speak about this primer are like, oh, it's like really sticky, it's gonna grab onto your foundation. And that does not sound like an experience that I need to have, okay? So I stayed away from this for so long. And then finally I was like, you know what, since I have the little size, let me go and test it out. Child, it is not as sticky as they say. It does grab onto your foundation. It really helps to smooth out your base. Your foundation will look beautiful and flawless. That is indeed true, but it's not sticky. Like, it doesn't feel like glue, all right? Use a little bit. Again, with all of these products, don't go overboard with how much you apply. Apply a light layer. Let it sink into the skin a bit, absorb away some of that extra moisture. It's not as hydrating either as they say, but let it absorb a bit, and then go in with your foundation. Your foundation is still gonna glide on. It's not gonna be catching in areas, which is what I had expected, which is why I stayed away from it. But this slaps. I really like this. So I'm happy I didn't listen to the reviewers and actually tried it for myself, because the descriptors that they were using, oh gosh, turned me off so bad. I was like, no, I don't want no parts. All right, let's move on to the foundation products then. So I have a couple of foundation products that a few that I fell in love with this year, that were launched this year, but also a couple from last year. So I'll start out with the older ones first. We have the Fenty Beauty Ease Drop Blurring Skin Tint. This is from last year, and like I said, I didn't do a favorites last year, but this would have been in my favorites. Was it last year, or did it launch even before that? I don't know, okay? The point is, it is such a beautiful complexion product, and it served me so well through 2022, especially in the summertime. Let's talk, okay? It's fantastic. I use shade 16. It is such a great match. It is so lightweight while giving me coverage, like it's covering hyperpigmentation. I don't feel like it's really a skin tint. The tint, I think, just comes from how it feels on the skin. It's very lightweight, right? But it does give you coverage. It's not just lightweight coverage. So I really enjoy this. And again, it came in the clutch during the summertime, the warmer months. I now live in Florida. So of course I prefer a lighter weight product that's still gonna wear well throughout the day and hold back some of the shine. And this is excellent, and I traveled with this quite a lot. And this was in my makeup bag that I made sure was easily accessible to me once I got to Florida. It came in my car with me, all right? So love this. I also tried out the Sephora Best Skin Ever. I think this also debuted last year, and this is fantastic. The shade I have is 35N. Sephora did a really good job with this foundation, and they have a great shade range, and it's such a good formula. It's a liquid foundation. It feels like a typical liquid foundation. It's a solid medium coverage, but it blends so beautifully on the skin. The match is perfection. It's so comfortable, and it wears well. It's like a natural matte finish that looks great, again, on my oily skin, and it lasts a really long time. So I love this little foundation, and it's not a bad price point either. So I definitely recommend you try this out. Stop sleeping on Sephora collection, because they have some stellar products over there, I'm telling you. This next one I tried out for the first time this year, even though it didn't launch this year. So this is from 𝕊𝕦𝕡𝕟. It is their Woke Up Like This Flawless Base Foundation. And I think 𝕊𝕦𝕡𝕟 has had an identity crisis of sorts, all right? They started out as kind of a pro-only brand, and then they transformed now into this social media heavy brand. And a lot of their marketing is done through like Facebook and Instagram, and they have this whole try it before you buy it system, which is not a bad thing. I said, you know what? It wouldn't hurt to try it out if they do have that try it before you buy it program. So what is there to lose? So I went ahead and did their skin match quiz. I did a whole video on this, and I picked up the shade that they said matched me, and that match worked out fine. It was great, but I was so in love with the formulation that I said, you know what, I'm going to try to find my perfect shade. So I picked up another shade of this. I picked up 160, which is actually my perfect shade match. It has a beautiful neutral undertone, and it just disappears on my skin, which is kind of the allure of this foundation, and it is how they market it on social media. They'll have people swatch different shades of this foundation on their skin, and then they'll just be this perfect shade match that blends seamlessly into the skin. And this did exactly that. And again, it's a beautiful formulation. It has a natural matte finish. It wears beautifully, and it has a solid medium coverage. It does look flawless. It looks amazing on the skin. I do really enjoy this, and I do recommend trying it out. And if you can use a discount code, try that as well. And if you just want to try it before you buy it, hey, go for it. But this is fantastic. Loved it, fell in love with it so much that I went ahead, grabbed another shade so I would have my perfect match, or the one that I thought was just a little bit better than the one that they matched me with. Love it. And then another foundation that I absolutely fell in love with is from Chanel. So this is the Ultra Le Teint Ultra Wear All Day Comfort Flawless Finish Foundation. This foundation is fantastic. I discovered it in Ulta. I was just perusing the shelves like, oh, let me check it out because Chanel is in one of my local Ultas, right? And I just happened to swatch this on my skin and I was like, what is this? What is Chanel going on with? They've also done like a shade expansion, so they have various deeper shades now. And the one I picked up is B80. I was like, let me find out Chanel has a shade for me, and let me find out that this formulation is ideal for my skin. All right, picked it up, and the powder too. And let me tell you right now, this is so fantastic. It has been my favorite, like my ultimate favorite foundation of the year. I have been using it nonstop since I bought it, and I reserve use for off camera. I'm not using this on camera and using it up, child. No, I'm using it on my regular schmegular days that I want a beautiful base, all right? When I'm going out, this is what I'm using. If I have an event, this is what I'm using. Listen, all right? This is fantastic, but it's pricey. So y'all ain't gonna see me using it up on camera. I've used it a couple of times, but I'm not gonna use it up on camera because I need to use it during everyday life. If you have the budget for it, I say try this out, but be aware that it does have fragrance, okay? It's that signature Chanel fragrance that I absolutely love. I love fragrance in my makeup. I know not everybody loves that. It's an unpopular opinion, I know. Did you check out my unpopular opinions video? You should check it out right now, where I talk about loving fragrance in my makeup, all right? I love it. And I'm not talking about like an overwhelming perfume fragrance. I just love the luxury fragrance of Chanel and Gucci and Dior. I love it. So this one, absolutely hands down my favorite foundation. But the other three were also favorites. It's just that this one kind of came and took over everything, all right? Now let's talk about the concealers that I absolutely fell in love with this year. A couple of these were new to the market in 2022, but this one has been around for a little bit. So this is from Rose Inc. It is their concealer and I love it. The shade I have is LX140. Now Rose Inc. is a brand that I eye from the sidelines, like let me see what they got going on. But they're not exactly my aesthetic. They're like this, oh, I'm so naturally beautiful, lit from within, ethereal makeup brand. That's not my vibe, but I've heard so much about the concealer that I wanted to try it out, so that's what I did. And this is a great concealer. It's great coverage. The shade match is fantastic. The formulation is moisturizing and creamy without being too greasy or too glowy. It's so beautiful under the eyes. It's not too matte. It's not too dry. It's fantastic. I absolutely love this concealer so much. And I'm glad I decided to pick it up, even though the brand is not necessarily one that I automatically gravitate towards. Now, Sephora released their best skin ever concealer as well to go with the foundation. And because I love the foundation so much, I was like, I'm gonna try this out, of course. And it did not disappoint. It is the one that I'm wearing right now. Okay, I wear it all the time. I love it so much. I travel with it. Again, fantastic. This is also 35N. So I matched my concealer with my foundation and they actually did a pretty good job of keeping the foundation and the concealer shade kind of matching instead of being lighter. So love this so much. Again, same things I would say about the Rose Inc concealer. This is hydrating but not dewy or shiny. It's not too matte. It's a little bit more matte than the Rose Inc concealer, but it's so fantastic and I love the shade match. I love how comfortable it is. It retains the pigmentation when you blend it out and it's so good. Like I really love this. And then the next one is one that's a hidden gem that I wouldn't have necessarily tried because I haven't been thinking about this brand lately, but this is the Tarte C Power Flex Concealer. I use the shade 48N, which is Tan Deep Neutral. Oh my God. This is so fantastic. It looks a little bit childish, but I low-key kind of like the little colorful cap. It's cute, okay? It's a little chubby, but let me tell you about this concealer. This is what I think their Tarte Shape Tape hydrating formula should be. Not whatever they did with that one, all right? This one is like Tarte Shape Tape, but a little bit more hydrating, okay? It's not as dry and it's not as matte, but let me be fair, I love Tarte Shape Tape as well, all right? So Who am I? I'm one of those people that really still love Tarte Shape Tape. Ooh, I'm getting shiny. Hold up. These lights are so unforgiving when you get shiny. Yep, this is from Tati Beauty. Y'all remember that brand? Lord child. Anyway, this concealer. Again, this is hydrating without being, say it with me, greasy, oily, shiny. It's fantastic. It has a great natural matte finish and it just blends and glides and it feels very comfortable on the skin. So these 3 concealers have been my most used, my favorites, hands down. All right, powders, because I've concealed, I put on my foundation. What about the powder, child? So this is a long-term favorite. If you've been on my channel long enough, then I don't need to mention this for too long. This is the Kosas Cloud Set Powder. I have the shade Pillowy. It's fantastic. Like, it's down to, look at that, pan. Now, some people hate this powder. I actually love it. And some people complain about Kosas. Some of their products do go bad really quickly because they're all natural, clean brand, so they're not really using a lot of preservatives in their products. But this powder has been with me for a while now and I don't have any issues with it. It doesn't smell bad. It's a great finish. I just dust it all over my skin. It sets my foundation down without really anchoring it in place. So it doesn't give me a flawless matte look to my skin. My skin still looks like skin. It looks natural. Even though I've powdered, it doesn't help with longevity. It's not gonna mattify or anything. It's just gonna finish my makeup in a very beautiful way that I don't look shiny at all. I do still have to touch up throughout the day. If I want a mattifying powder, then I grab a mattifying powder. But this is such a great overall finishing and setting powder. I just love it. So it's going nowhere and I have a backup ready to go, even though I don't recommend getting backups of Kosas products because they go bad pretty quickly. But I have one that I've kind of been using for traveling. So I have one in my collection and then one that I travel with. So I'm still using them kind of at the same time. But this one is almost done. Absolutely love it. Now, one that debuted this year that I tried out that I fell in love with, and I don't hear a lot of people talking about it, and I don't know why. All right, so this is the Sei Air Set Radiant Loose Setting Powder. The shade I have is translucent medium, and when I heard radiant, I was like, hold on, do you mean like glowy? Because I'm not about that life. But I said, let me try it anyway, right? So this guy, it isn't radiant like they say. If you swatch it on your skin and you go really close up, like in a really intense swatch, you may see a little bit of micro fine sheen and shimmer. But it's just a beautiful setting powder. It definitely is an ear set. It's lightweight. It's beautiful on my skin. It sets my makeup down. It's such a stunning powder. This is one that I would say is more like a setting powder, but you can also use it as a finishing powder because it looks so great on the skin. Again, it's kind of like the Kosas powder where it's not going to blank out my skin. I'm not gonna get like mattified, you know, but it just leaves my skin looking really beautiful and the color works really well on my complexion. I love it so much that I got the translucent one, which is a little bit deeper and richer than I expected. It works great under my eyes and I can actually use it all over my skin as well. But if you're really pale and you're looking for translucent, I don't know if that shade will necessarily work for you, but it definitely works for me. So I'm happy with it. Love that. And then another powder that I was apprehensive for a while, like I stayed away from it. This is the One Size Ultimate Setting Powder. This is by Patrick Starr, and he does very heavy duty full coverage makeup, and that's why I was a little bit nervous about trying out this powder. But kind of like with the Milk Primer, I tried the mini size first. I was like, all right, let me try it out. It ain't a bad buy. It's like $15, will be fine, right? So I got that and I was using it nonstop for setting under my eyes. Now this one, unlike the other two, is definitely mattifying. So if I'm going for a matte look, this is what I pull out. If I want to set my face down so it doesn't move at all, then this is what I'm going for. If I want to bake, this is what I'm going for. Like, it is hardcore and not everybody's gonna be drawn to that. But for me, again, with oily skin, if I want something that's really going to hold this foundation in place, this is what I go for. And I think it looks really beautiful under the eyes. It sets concealer down so well, and I don't go without under eye concealer if I'm applying makeup. I always, like, listen, it's dark. It looks crazy if I have foundation on and no under eye concealer. I'm just saying, all right? Darkness, it looks a little bit intense, so I do have to use the under eye concealer, and because I have lines under my eyes, my age kind of shows around my eyes because I'm very expressive, so I have lines under my eyes, and so my concealer has places to go and settle into, so I do have to set my concealer down, and this powder is fantastic. Now, under my eyes is more on the normal side, even bordering on dry. It's not really dry, but it's more on the normal side, right? So it doesn't get oily or greasy, so I don't want something that's drying under there, and this just works well, and I've recommended it to you guys all the time, but again, it's only if you like a matte finish. If you want glow or dew or you want to look hot, no. Okay, no. This is definitely more on the matte side, but it's fantastic, all right? Absolutely love this. All right, keeping with the complexion products, the bronzers that I fell in love with this year, all right? Whew. The first one up is the Charlotte Tilbury Beautiful Skin Sun Kiss Glow Bronzer. This blew me away. It's a huge compact, it's pricey, but let me tell you, this formula on my oily skin, chef's kiss, amazing. It is such a great formula. It's like a moussey cream. It's not too emollient. It's not too slippy. So it almost works like a cream to powder kind of formulation. You grab it on a brush, tap it on your skin. It blends so easily, so seamlessly. It looks so great. I absolutely love it. The shade I have here is tan. This is so great. They also have a deeper shade, which is dark, which is number 4. I can also use that. I feel like she could add another shade, number 5, rich, maybe? I don't know if she has a rich shade. I'm not even gonna look it up. I just know tan works for me, and it works so well. It looks so natural on the skin. It's not red. It's more on the caramel side. It's a little bit more golden than red, and it doesn't lean too neutral, so it doesn't have that gray cast. It just looks so good. It works so well on my complexion, and I absolutely love it. So this is definitely one of my favorite bronzers this year, and I used it during the summertime, so it works all year round. It's not like a dry weather only bronzer. It also works during the warm season, so absolutely love it. And then one that I absolutely fell in love with, that I didn't anticipate falling in love with, is from Haus Labs. Oh my god. So this is not the bronzer. Hold the phone. The bronzer is over here. Oh lord. This is the bronzer, so it's different packaging. This is the Power Sculpt Velvet Bronzer. I have Deep Level 9. This is fantastic. This one has a little bit more of a red undertone, but it also has like the warmer golden undertone. So it's like a cross between the two. It definitely doesn't have that neutral undertone at all, and it works so well. It's so smooth. It's the one I'm wearing right now. You see, it just looks like a natural bronze. What I find with my golden skin, my skin looks very yellow on camera, even though I think I'm more neutral and neutral foundations actually match me better. I still read or translate and project as golden. So if I put a red tone bronzer on, it looks very harsh, and you can definitely see the distinction. And you've probably seen it on other people and say, hey, she has a bronzer helmet on, because you can see like the red bronzer versus the golden undertones of their skin, right? So for me, I need a more golden undertone bronzer for it to look natural. And this looks so natural on my skin. You can't detect it, but if you see me without it versus with it, you'll see the difference. You'll see that warmth that it adds to my skin. It's not overwhelming. It's very natural looking, and it blends so well. This formula is definitely a gel powder. It's not a dry finish. It's not a chalky formula. It's definitely on the creamy side, but not like too emollient. It definitely gives a lightweight feel and finish to the skin. It's absolutely beautiful. So in love with this. All right, let's talk about the highlighter since I already sneaked it. So my highlighter of choice, I think I have only one. Yes, it's only one. It goes also to Haus Labs. So this is their Bio Radiant Gel Powder Highlighter in Golden Pyrite. This is so fantastic. I don't wear a lot of highlighter because I don't like to glow too much. I have oily skin, and you can probably already see that I am glowing, and that is just a natural glow from my skin warming up to my foundation. This adds a little bit extra, or it amps up that glow or shine before I actually start getting greasy. You know what I mean? It's like, oh, yeah, you want to glow and shine? Let me add that for you without your skin having to produce it. I'm going to give you that lit from within glow that you didn't actually achieve naturally yet. Because I will achieve it naturally, which is why I don't love wearing highlighter, because if I have highlighter that's really intense and then I get glowy, then it looks a hot mess. So this one almost melts into the skin and it looks like I'm lit from within. You'll hear that term a lot, but I don't find many products that actually do that. This one does. Even though it looks like, oh my god, it's gonna be super shiny on the skin. No, it's just natural. It blends so beautifully into my skin. You can't even tell. You're like, did you apply highlighter? And I'm like, yes, I did. It just gives that, you know, that added little glow. It's like coming from my skin, but it's not too extra, and I love that. And as it warms up, as my skin warms up to this, it makes my skin look really healthy and glowy without looking greasy. So that's what I really love about this. And there's so many shades to this line, and some of them are a little bit more on the blush tone side, so you can use them as blush toppers. Excellent. Oh my god, I love this so much. Again, I'm not a highlighter person, so I really don't have that many highlighter products to say are my faves, you know? Because I didn't really buy highlighter, well, I did kind of pick up some highlighters, but I didn't go overboard this year with highlighters because I've just been honest with myself about what I use and what I love. All right, let's talk about a face palette that again was a big surprise. This is the Ambient Lighting Edit Unlock Tiger palette from Hourglass. Hourglass, first of all, what? Okay, I didn't expect to get this palette, but when I saw it sneak peeked, I was like, tell me more about it. I am interested, because this palette actually has deeper, richer tones in it, and 4 of the shades are brand new, and the formulas look so good, okay? This would constitute my blush, bronzer, highlight palette of choice. If I was traveling with a palette, it would be this one for the face, okay? There are 2 blush shades in here, but just one that I would consider a blush. The other one I would almost say is a blush topper bordering on highlight because of the color of it. And then the 3 highlighter shades, stunning. And then this face powder, which is meant as a finishing powder, is actually more of a bronzer shade on me. It leads a little bit neutral, so I can use it as a bronzer color. And it's so fantastic. I think Hourglass really did a good job this time around. I haven't picked up any of their unlocked palettes for holiday because they just repeat shades all the time. The shades are too light. I was just never interested. But this time around, they did a really good job, and I am happy to have that. So much so that I do have this deeper shade in a full-size compact, so I can use it as a bronzer. But this palette slaps. It's so good. The packaging too, this tin palette, oh, it's so pretty. And then it has this little, what would you consider this? Like a muted turquoise? A robin's egg blue? Like, what color is this? Either way, I am so in love with this. This is so stunning. So that was my favorite face palette of the year, but it was my only face palette that I tried this year, because face palettes I don't really gravitate towards. Let's talk about blush, because we've spoken about bronzer and highlight. Blush time. All right. Here's some surprises to me. Okay, y'all ready? Item Beauty. Who? Item Beauty by TikToker Addison. Is it Addison Rae, or was it one of the 𝕊𝕦𝕡𝕒 sisters? Addison Rae, right? Aging myself so much. It doesn't matter. It's from one of the social media darlings, all right? This is the Blushing Light Cream Blush. And this is so good. I didn't expect to like this, but I saw this in store. I saw the color of it, first of all. And I was like, that is so pretty. I swatched it out and I picked it up right away. I was like, give it to me right now. So this one is I'm Crushing, and this one is Bad Bleep. They're so pretty, okay? This one is a little intimidating because it looks very berry, but it swatches more on the rosy red side rather than like a true bruisey berry purpley shade on me. So I love it. But this shade is the one I fell in love with, and this is the one that I would recommend. It's so beautiful. It's like a corally watermelon shade, and the formulation is so well done. It's a cream blush, but it's not overly creamy. Again, it's not like overly emollient. So on oily skin, it still works really well. And you just pick it up on a brush, tap it on the skin. It's not too overwhelming, but the color is stunning. And my cheeks eat blush, especially cream blush. But this, for some reason, just works. It clings onto my cheeks. It gives me beautiful color. I love this color again. And it works so well on my skin. I just really love it. It doesn't fade too quickly. It's fantastic. So don't sleep on Item Beauty, okay? They do have some nice products. I also like their lip gloss and even their concealer, but it's just not like top of the list for me. But they do have some nice products, so very surprised, I will say. Another cream product, well, cream powder product that I discovered this year is from Glowish. These are their cheeky vegan blush powders. Woo, child. This one is number 2 Karen Coral. This is so pretty as well. I almost want to call this a powder to cream rather than a cream to powder because it's not a cream formulation, but the powder is so airy and creamy that it applies almost like a cream product. And it's so beautiful. They have marbling in these shades, so even though it looks like it's gonna be too light, blended together with the deeper marbling, oh god, it's so pretty. It's such a good color too, and I love the packaging and everything about this. It applies, blends out really well. It holds on to my cheeks. It doesn't fade. It's so good. I absolutely love it. I have to mention this old favorite because I have been reaching for it more and more and more this year, and I've been reaching for it over my other blush products. So this is from Giorgio Armani. This is the Neo Nude Melting Color Balm, and it's meant for cheeks and eyes. The shade I have here is 45. It's so good. Oh my god. They made this limited edition initially, but I think they still have them around, and I think they should keep them around permanently and add to the line because this formula is fantastic. It's a cream blush formula and it melts onto the skin and it stays put. Again, longevity is there for me. Cheeks eat blush all the time. It does fade a little bit, but you know, it hangs on a little bit longer than other dewy cream blushes, and I can layer this up with powders without it fading away. So it's so stunning. And the color, I mean, it's like a deep corally orange. It's so stunning. What more like a brick orange. It's so good. I love this so much. So if you can grab this, grab it while you can. Again, I'm hoping they expand the line and keep these shades around because they're so good. All right. Another one that I tried this year, but they've been around for a while, is the Glow Play Blush from MAC. The shade I have is Groovy. I have heard so many great things about these blushes, but they're kind of pricey, and I'm like, I don't try to spend that much on a blush, especially from MAC. Like, what are they doing? But this shade I am so glad I picked up. I don't know if you have sensed the theme, but I love corally orange blushes. I don't like anything pink or berry. No, give me an orange, give me a peach, give me a coral, and this is so fantastic. This one is like an airy whipped formula. It's more like a mousse that's a little bit more on the creamy side. This one also layers well over complexion products or with powder blushes. This is so pretty, and the color is stunning, and they pick up easily on a brush, which sometimes can be a little bit tricky with cream formulas because you want them to pick up nicely on a brush and then distribute on your cheeks. Instead of being sticky and slippy, you want them to just blend and blur. So I really love these types of products because I don't have to use my fingers. Some cream formulas, it's like they won't work well on a brush. It's better if you use them with your fingers, but these work fantastic with a brush. So I really love those blushes. All right, we are done with complexion products. Let's jump into the eye products and we'll finish up with the lips. So let's start out with eyeshadow palettes, and I will forewarn you right now that I'm going to be a little bit biased in this category. Also, I didn't try that many eyeshadow palettes this year, so there weren't a lot of options to choose from. And I was looking back through my videos, I'm like, really? I didn't try that many palettes this year. So again, my list is a little bit more manageable. So we're gonna start out with the number one, the only one. Of course I'm gonna be biased. Are you serious? Like, come on now. This is my collaboration palette with Sydney Grace Cosmetics. It's the Tropic Color palette, and baby, I am so in love with this palette. Of course I created it myself, so why wouldn't I be? This is the colorful palette of my dreams. It has all the blues and teals that I could dream of, along with some greens, and then it has mattes that I want in almost every look, plus their neutral shades that you can create a balanced look. So I am so in love with my palette. Now, for those of you who've picked this up already, thank you so much. I truly appreciate the support. You guys have tagged me in looks and swatch videos, swatch pictures. I am so in love with all your looks that you've created, and I'm so happy that you guys are enjoying this palette. Thank you so much for the support. I truly appreciate it. And if you haven't picked it up yet, what are you waiting for? It's a fun palette. Now, the thing about this palette is that it launched a little bit later than we would have liked. I wanted this to launch for summertime because it makes sense for it to launch for summertime, but there were some delays, and so it came out a little bit later. So it didn't actually get as much hype as I would have hoped because it is so colorful. And I know people are a little bit wary of colorful palettes. But this palette is a little bit nuanced than you might think. And I've done videos reorganizing the shades and showing you different color combinations that you may find a little bit more wearable. And I am going to do more videos with this palette. I haven't gotten around to using the blues. I've done really wearable looks with this palette because I wanted it to be a little bit more approachable for those of you who are afraid of color. These shades work really well for a color lover or for someone that's tiptoeing into color. This can be your colorful palette, and it was my colorful palette all of this year, and I really love it. So obviously it's gonna be my favorite palette of the year, hands down. Don't ask me any further questions. All right, now I also fell in love with some neutral palettes this year because I love a proper neutral, and I already had my colorful palette like kind of secured, so I wasn't worried about color. Okay, I wasn't worried about anybody else's palette but mine. All right, but there were some neutral palettes that caught my eye this year and I fell in love with them. First off, we have the Patrick Ta Major Dimension 2 palette. And I wasn't originally going to get this palette, but then I saw the shades and I swatched it in store and I was sold, all right? Automatically sold because these shades are so much better than the original Major Dimension palette. This palette, I'm wearing some of the shades right now. It creates a beautiful neutral eye. These shades are stunning. The mattes are so buttery, so easy to blend. They're so workable. And then the shimmers are much more impressive than the last palette. We have some beautiful topper shades in here, but also some real beautiful metallics. So I don't feel like I'm missing out by only having a palette with topper shades. And I was very excited about that because the previous palette, like I said, was a disappointment for me, but this is stunning. And then we have the two cream shades that are a little bit richer and deeper, and I think this palette just, it's so good. It's one of the first neutral palettes, or even one of the first eyeshadow palettes that I tried this year, and I really fell in love with it. Next up, we have a surprise hit, okay? That one is the Born This Way Sunset Stripped palette from Too Faced. I know, you're like, Too Faced too? But Too Faced made a beautiful neutral palette this year, and if you got their other neutral palette, it's called Bare Nudes, I think. That palette is the predecessor to this one. So they follow a neutral theme and they have matching matte and shimmer shadows. The mattes are in the larger pans and then the shimmers are in the smaller pans, and they have a neutral theme to it. This one just is so stunning. It has more warm tones on one side and then more pinky rosy hues on the other side, and they work so well together. Similar to the Patrick Ta palette, we have beautiful creamy mattes that build and blend really well. You can build up dimension because we have quite a few medium tones as well as deepening shades. And then the shimmers are not just toppers. There are shimmery shades that will give you opacity. They're really stunning. And then we have a couple of toppers tossed in that you can use on the inner tear duct or for a pop of shimmer on the center of the lid. I don't prefer that way. I prefer shimmers, and this one was a surprise hit for me. I really like this one and I traveled with it a bit in 2022. Now, this one is also one that surprised me. All right, this is from ABH. It's Anastasia Beverly Hills. It's the Nouveau palette now. Okay, this one is a new one because my original one fell and broke. It was a disaster. It was a whole situation, but I liked it so much that I picked up another one. So if that tells you anything, that should be that I like this palette enough to replace it. It is so pretty. Cover up this purple though. Wisteria is my least favorite color in the palette. The rest of the shades are stunning. They have more of an olivey leaning neutral undertone to the majority of the shades, and they blend and build really well. The shimmers, again, aren't those topper shades, okay? Do away with those topper shades and those shimmer, loose glitter shades. No, I don't want it, okay? Give me these metallic shades. Give me these frosty tones. This is what I like. And this palette is really well done. The only thing I would say is a drawback is that you don't have like a deep matte blending shade. But that's fine with me because I have other palettes. I don't need palettes to be an all-in-one for me because I like to mix and match my makeup. I like to get use out of all my palettes. So I don't mind using this in conjunction with another palette with deep matte blending shades, okay? That doesn't bother me as much, but that's the only drawback. You kind of have to grab from another palette to get dimension. But this was so stunning and a surprise hit from ABH for me. I haven't liked an ABH palette in quite a while, so that one was very surprising. All right, another neutral palette that is actually a very recent love of mine is the Juvia's Place, the Coffee Shop palette. Woo! Let me tell you something, okay? The minute I opened this palette, the minute I used it, I was in love. When I swatched it, I was like, ooh, I don't know. Because if you just swatch these shades, they can feel a little bit gritty, a little bit chalky, a little bit dry. We're talking about the mattes. But when you apply them to the eyes, they apply so well and blend and build so well with each other. I was surprised. I'm not gonna lie. I was surprised because just feeling them with the fingertips, you're like, oh, I don't know if this is gonna work. But child, let me tell you right now, they apply and blend so well and the shimmers are stunning. I think this is such a well done neutral palette. I don't know if I could do a better neutral palette myself. If I was doing my own, this is kind of what I would gravitate towards. They have the light shade that I would go for, this buttery vanilla. They have the deep shades that are different undertones. Again, what I would do, and then they have these mid-tone shades that you can use to build dimension, as well as like a lighter nude. Like, stop! And then the shimmers, we have mostly taupey shades and a little bit of bronze with one brighter like coppery shade instead of being like a warm palette. This is my dream neutral palette and I absolutely love it. Again, it's more recent, but oh my god, it's so flippin' good. Oh my god. And then to round out the eyeshadow palettes, to round out everything, we have another colorful one. This is from Odin's Eye, and this one I think surprised everybody with how well they sold, okay? Odin's Eye didn't know that this collection was going to fly off the shelves the way it did, so they released a duo of palettes. They have the Christmas Eve palette and then the Christmas palette. This one is the Merry Christmas palette, all right? This is my favorite of the two. The blue one you would think would be my favorite, but I feel like there are some decent shades, but they're not as special as my Sydney Grace, okay? But this, bam, bam, so freaking pretty. And they have some duochrome shades in here as well. This green one, you would be surprised that it isn't actually green. It gives more of a pinky, like orangey flash. It's so flippin' good. And then the mattes in this palette too. What? This deep red. Cut it out right now. This palette is so well done. It has some fun, colorful shades, a little pastel tossed in. Shut up. I love this palette so much. I fell in love with this color story. I think it's so unique. It's so original. and it's so well done with the formulations and everything, and it sold out so fast, and some people are upset that they missed out. I'm sorry. I am sorry you didn't have the foresight, okay? Look how my nails match this palette so well. Oh my god, this is so pretty. But I'm sorry that you didn't get your hands on this. I'm very sorry, okay? But it's one of the best palettes of the year. It's so fantastic. So I fell in love, and I'm not afraid to say it. This palette slaps. So these two together, my colorful dream, and then my neutral palettes, don't stop. I'm done, okay? I'm over it. All right, let's talk about other eye products. Mascara. So I am not one to necessarily fall in love. Well, no, that's a lie. That's a lie. But I am very loyal to mascara. I fall in love with a formula and then I stick to it for quite a while. But this year I tried out some new mascaras and I fell in love with two formulations. First up, you guys already knew, you probably already expected this. I did a full video on this mascara. It's the MAC Stack Mascara from MAC Cosmetics. And let me tell you right now, so freaking good. This mascara will give you a false lash effect by layering it up, and it doesn't clump, okay? No clumping, no flaking, no nothing. It just do what it do, and it does it well. And I think MAC hit it out the park with this, and I wasn't necessarily surprised. You know why? Because my original favorite mascara when I started wearing makeup, okay, apart from CoverGirl Lash Blast, which you know you were on a budget, so you kind of cheaped out on mascara. You stuck to the drugstore, all right? But my first high-end love was Plush Lash from MAC. Fun fact about my makeup origins and my journey. Plush Lash was my mascara of choice, and now this one hit it out the park again. And MAC, you did such a good job. The bristles are plasticky. They have a funky little shape. It's conical, but it grabs onto all the lashes and really builds up volume and length, and I love it so much. They also have a micro, which is a smaller brush, so if you have smaller eyes, the formula is still stellar all around, and I absolutely love it so much. Now, another one that I tried that was a surprise, and I don't know what inspired me to try this, but I did anyway. This is the Charlotte Tilbury Pillow Talk Push Up Lashes. Why is everything Pillow Talk? Either way, I don't care, because this slaps. This is so good. Oh my god. So this mascara has more of a paddle style wand, and it has kind of an arrowhead type shape. It's kind of different from mascara ones that I gravitate towards, because it's kind of that flat paddle style shape that I don't love. But this mascara really grabs onto the roots of the lashes as well. The bristles are kind of short and packed together, so you can really get in there and build and layer, and this also builds up really great volume and length. So Charlotte, okay, I fell in love with that mascara. I'm so happy I decided to try it out. I don't know what inspired me, but whatever did, I'm happy about it. So thank you so much, Charlotte. You are fantastic. Eyeliners. My god, I'm not even gonna go through and pick shades, because I'm gonna tell you right now, Victoria Beckham Beauty. Almost hit myself in the face. Oh my goodness. Victoria Beckham Beauty and these satin kajal liners. Oh my god. So she has a matte formula as well as a shimmer formula. I like all of it. I like all of it. But the matte is so creamy. It glides on so well. It works well on the waterline. It's pigmented. Like, it's so comfortable. It doesn't burn my eyes. Like, I can't say enough great things. The only thing is they're expensive. However, if you pick a shade that you know you're gonna get use out of, you will not be disappointed. This formulation is so freaking fantastic. I can't get over it. And she has some fun shades. There's like a plum, there's a blue, there's like a jeweled green. So there's some fun shades as well as your basic neutral shades, black and brown and so on. Love them. All right, Makeup by Mario. These again are some of my favorite liners, and he has a great formula. These kind of bump out the Victoria Beckham Beauty just by a little bit, because these stay a little bit longer. They're a little bit more long lasting because they dry a little quicker. They're a little bit more on the matte side, while the Victoria Beckham ones are a little bit more gel-like. They're very creamy, but they also are long-lasting, so don't get me wrong. But the Makeup by Mario ones, they stay in place. They are so richly pigmented. They glide on so well. They are so good. I'm so in love with these, and I hope he adds more fun colors. That's the edge up that Victoria Beckham Beauty has, because they're fun shades, they're colorful shades. The Makeup by Mario ones are kind of standard across the board neutrals, like browns, there's a plum, there's one fun blue, but I want a green and a purple. You know, I want more shades from him. I hope he adds more, but these are fantastic. I am so in love with them. And then the Kaleidos Multichrome Liners. So these are the Epiphany Glow Melt On Eyeliners, and they're so good. These are multi-chrome liners. I did a full video comparing these to the Danessa Myricks multi-chromes. Those were a disappointment, but these, oh my god. If you wanted a fun, colorful liner, if you wanted a multi-chrome liner, if you were looking for that oomph and pizzazz, this is where it is. These liners are so fantastic, but I've heard people say they're a little bit on the drier side, which I do admit. Given that they are twist up liners instead of ones that you sharpen, they're gonna dry out a lot faster than sharpenable liners. However, I'll give you a tip right now. Grab your hair dryer, okay? And just do a quick pass over the liner. So extend it a little bit, quick pass. Don't do any more than like 1 or 2 seconds. That's how quick it needs to be. It's gonna warm up the liner, and then it will glide a lot better on your skin. But I hadn't had an issue with them not gliding well, but I've heard that from other people, so I wanted to just mention that. So that's a tip that you guys can use just in case these dry out on you. And again, they're gonna dry out faster because they're in kind of an open cylinder twist up tube rather than like an enclosed. Ooh, you saw that just now, child? That was too much. Instead of like a wooden pencil where you have to sharpen it. But those are my favorite liners for the eyes. Now, I don't want to move on from the eyes without mentioning my liquid liner of choice. This is not new from 2022, but it's new to me. It's the Pat McGrath liner. I don't know what they call it, but it's the liquid liner. This is such a rich black pigmented liner, and it's so long lasting, but you can still remove it pretty easily. It's so good. It's so good, and this tops any liquid liner in my collection. So much so that I've gotten rid of every single other liquid liner that I have and just kept this one. No, that's a lie. That's a lie. I still have the kitten liner from Tarte, but this, whatever. Don't listen, okay? The Pat McGrath one still does better than that one, but I have that one because it has a really tiny tip, so it works well if I wanted to get just along the lash line. But the Pat McGrath one, it's a felt tip liner. Again, it's really rich and black, and it glides so well, and you get intense pigmentation in one swipe, so you don't have to keep going back and forth to get the full opacity. So love that guy. All right, the eyes are done, but also kind of in the eye category, we have brow pencils, because these still need to be mentioned. Oh my god. So over the years, I have kind of just stuck to my Benefit brow pencil. Still love that pencil, okay? It's the one that I'm wearing right now. However, there were some brow products that came out this year that I fell in love with. So first up, and the one that I absolutely am in love with, is the Patrick Ta Major Brow Defining Pencil. Dark brown is my shade of choice. This is a really thin pencil, and it has a flat shape rather than a rounded lead. It is so good, okay? It's really thin, so you can get like precise lines. You can do precision work. You can do little strokes through your brows if that's what you like. And it's the Goldilocks level of pigment, where it's not too dark like a regular eyeliner, so it's gonna just look too dark in your brows, but it's not too light where you have to keep pushing and pressing and building up to get color. It's just the right level of color payoff and pigmentation to give you that natural look. I mean, all right, listen, my brows never look natural, and I think this one is a little bit thinner. Mind your business, okay? The point is, I love this brow pencil. I'm a brow pencil girl, so I absolutely love this one. I fell in love with it. I also low-key fell in love with the Give by Gwen Stefani pencils. So we have the Most Instant Definition Sculpting Pencil, which is the blade type pencil. This is so interesting. It's different from any other brow pencil I've seen on the market. Now, we have those brow pencils that are in like the triangle shape. They're thicker, and you use them to sculpt or whatever. It doesn't matter. I don't care. This one has a blade shape to it, so you can use it to apply strokes through your brows. But what I really like it for is the blurring kind of powder effect that you create by using it at the start of your brows. So this one is not too pigmented at all. In fact, it's a little bit more lightly pigmented and it's a harder formula. So it allows you to get that brush-like effect, okay? If you do like a gradient brow and you just want like a powdery light look to the start of your brows, this works so well to give you that, and it just works really nice. So I really like this formulation. And they also have the Hella On Point Ultra Fine Brow Pencil that is a mega fine tip pencil. This one also works for those little fine strokes. It creates definition. The color is also beautiful. The color that I have is number 7 in both of these formulations, and the shade just works really well for me. I think these are fantastic and I really enjoy them. All right, last brow product is also from Patrick Ta. This is the Major Brow Lamination Gel. I did not know what to expect from this. I heard that it's really sticky, it's really great at laminating your brows, and I'm like, I don't want that. I hate laminated brows, they look so nasty. But I wanted to try it anyway. I got it on sale when Sephora was doing their 50% off, so I bought the brow pencil and this brow gel to test it out. And this is really good as just a brow gel. You don't have to use it for lamination purposes. If you just want a stronghold brow gel to keep your brow hairs in place if they're unruly, this is so good at that. Now, it does leave your brow hairs crunchy and a little bit stiff, but that's what you want to hold them in place. I don't want a fluffy brow, okay? I don't need it to look soft and flexible. No, hold them in place, and this does exactly that. And I love the applicator as well. It's not a spoolie type applicator. It is a paddle shape, and the end of it is at an angle, and it has tiny bristles that shoot out like a little nylon brush or a boar bristle brush, and you can just work the product through your brows, set everything in place, and again, it works really well. It doesn't flake, it doesn't dry down to like a really crunchy finish, but it does hold everything in place really well. So I absolutely love that. All right, lip products. Let's wrap up with the lips. Let's start out with what I'm wearing right now on my lips. So this is actually a combination. I have the Lisa Eldridge Matte Velvet Lipstick in Velvet Duchess. This is one of the new shades that she launched for holiday. This is such a beautiful, rich, deep red shade. Oh my god, it's so good. I love the Velvet Matte formula from Lisa Eldridge. And the new shades that she added this year, she added neutrals as well as colorful shades. I love them so much. I absolutely love them. So Velvet Duchess is this red that I fell in love with, and I think it's fantastic, and it's great for the holidays, of course. She also released Velvet Sorcery. This is also a new shade. This is a beautiful, deep kind of dusty mauve nude. I love this shade as well. It's a beautiful, deeper, kind of chocolatey nude on me. Love it, but it's not like a dark brown. So I think that shade is stunning. And then one of her summer shades that I fell in love with, this one is Strawberry Shock. It's a neon kind of corally watermelon shade. It's so intense, it's so vibrant, it's so stunning. Now these break a little bit easily, so be careful with them. But when I tell you, these two formulations are so rich, they're so pigmented, and they have more of a matte finish that makes them a little bit more long wearing, but they don't dry out your lips, they don't feel heavy, they don't feel tight. They're very comfortable to wear. They kind of glide on your lips like velvet. It's not gonna be creamy, buttery emollient, but there's this smooth kind of suede vibe to them that I really absolutely love. And then a formula that I absolutely fell in love with is the Rouge Dior Forever from Dior. These are so good. I did a full video on these. I will link it over here so you can check it out. I fell in love with this formulation. Now this is a matte formula. It's also budge proof and kind of smudge proof, okay? It is long lasting, it locks down so well. And I topped the Velvet Duchess from Lisa Eldridge with the shade 879, which is Forever Passionate. This is such a good shade as well. Oh my god, it's so good. It's such a good red. This one has a little bit more of a purpley, almost fuchsia berry undertone. It's pretty and it's so long lasting. Again, it locks in place, it doesn't move. It's so good. This is a little bit more drying than the Lisa Eldridge formula, but I don't find it dry and tight like a liquid lipstick, but it still kind of gives you the wear of a liquid lipstick. So I really do love this formulation. Just be mindful that it's not going to be ultra comfortable. It's still comfortable enough. Like, I don't feel my lips being sucked dry. They don't feel like that, but they are a little bit more on the dry. I don't even want to say that because it's not true. They're not drying. It just is a little bit drier than a cream formula, for instance. Now, another matte lipstick formula that really blew me away this year is from Give by Gwen Stefani. So I have 3 shades here. She launched with her original recipe shade, which is the bright red, which I'd automatically picked up, and I fell in love with this. This is such a beautiful bright red. It's so stunning. I love this color and I love this formula. It's a velvety matte formula, again, similar to the Dior and the Lisa Eldridge formula. This one is a little bit more on the anchor inside, like it's gonna stay in place, and it's a little bit more drying like a typical matte formula, but it's not like ultra drying at all. Like, it's still very comfortable. And what I love about these is how long wearing they are. Just like the Dior lipsticks, they hold on for dear life. I wear them throughout the night without having to touch up. It's not an issue. So the red shade I absolutely love, but she also released some new shades later in the year. We have 80s Me, which is a bright like fuchsia pink shade. It's so stunning. It is a fun shade, but she is releasing shades that she's into, and I hope she expands the line to include shades that everybody else is into, right? Not just shades that she loves, but I absolutely love these lipsticks. There's also another formula, which is the Anaheim Shine, that I also fell in love with. This is an original recipe. This one she's also added shades to, but again, I hope she keeps expanding and adds shades that we want to see, like shades that we want to use, because this formula, these 2 formulas are really beautiful. They're richly pigmented, they're vibrant, they're intense, and they're comfortable while giving this bold impact to the lips, and I absolutely love them, and I love how they wear over time. So stunning lipsticks. I can't wait to see what other shades she adds to the line. Let me also mention my favorite lip pencils of the year that kind of go hand in hand with these lipsticks. So first up are the Makeup by Mario lip pencils. These are so good. So similar to his eye pencils, I kind of fell in love with this formulation. So these are the Ultra Suede Sculpting lip pencils, and I have a couple of the dark brown shades. So I have Dark Chocolate, Jeff, and Milk Chocolate. These shades are fantastic nude lip pencils. They work with any of my dark nude lipsticks or my dark brown lipsticks. They're fantastic. The formulation is excellent. They glide on really well, but then they lock in place and they help with longevity, and they can give you a really crisp outline to your lips. So I really love this formulation. Again, I think Makeup by Mario just does a really good job with their pencil formulation. I also really love the Lisa Eldridge lip pencils. These are a little bit pricey, but they're so good, and they match up with her lip color. So of course, I went ahead and grabbed a couple of these. So I have Velvet Decade, Velvet Duchess, and Velvet Midnight. So these 2 match up with the lipstick shades. They're a little bit deeper, so they can give you that outline to the lips. And who doesn't like a rich, dark red lip liner that goes with their lipstick? So this matches up. The Decade is a dark mauve nude. Again, this really works well with dark nude lipsticks. And then Midnight is like a dark brown with a reddy plum undertone. It's almost similar to MAC Night Moth that everybody loves, and it's so good. Again, this is such a great, comfortable formulation. It glides on really well. They're not dry, they don't tug, and they're still long lasting. So I really love this as well. And then one that surprised me is from Rare Beauty. So this is the Kind Words matte lip liner in the shade Strong. I picked up a couple of her lipsticks as well, which I really like. Now these are twist up lip pencils instead of the ones that you sharpen. And so far this has been really great. It hasn't dried out or anything. And again, it glides on really well. It's really long lasting, and I love this dark brown. I'm going to keep an eye on this formula to see if there are additional shades that I want to try out, because I do think this is a good formula. The only thing is it's a twist up, so I'm a little bit wary that it will dry out. For lip liners, I prefer a wood pencil that I can sharpen because it's easier to keep it fresh and it lasts a lot longer in your collection, but I really do like the formula. So those are the lip pencils that I absolutely fell in love with and I would recommend to just about anyone to try out. All right, let's talk about these lip creams from Makeup by Mario. These are the Ultra Suede Cozy Lip Creams. Now, it's spelled creme. I'm not going to say creme because we know you meant lip cream, so I'm going to say lip cream. Leave me alone, okay? This formula is a liquid lipstick, but it's a whipped moussey texture and it's kind of like a suede. It's exactly that. It's like a velvety formula that is really cozy and comfortable on the lips. It feels almost plush. It's not drying at all, but it stays in place really well. And it does feel like a lip suede. And these colors look so fantastic because of that suede-y kind of velvet finish. They're so perfect. I love the shade Mocha Latte and Naked Spice. Those are my two favorite shades. Absolutely love these so much. They're comfortable. And again, they give you that beautiful finish, and he has some beautiful nude shades. So love that formula. And then another one from Makeup by Mario are the Moisture Glow Plumping Lip Serums. Now these kind of went viral. They were sold out for so long, and then he added new shades in the summertime, and now they're in stock again. And I have two shades here, Blush Glow and Honey Glow are my favorite ones. Now these, you don't want to twist them up too far because they don't twist back down, so be careful. And it's a very glossy formula, so they can slip around and they can go outside your lip line. They bleed a little bit because they're super glossy, but they're so good. They look so good on the lips, and anytime I'm going out that I want a colorful tinted balm, I grab these. I add a little tint of color to my lips. Really glossy, comfortable to wear. They feel hydrating and they feel almost like a lip balm, but it's just extra glossy and extra special. So I fell in love with those, so much so that I picked up quite a few shades. So I love them. I absolutely love them. All right, lip glosses. So these are the ones that I fell in love with this year. We have the Major Volume Plumping Gloss from Patrick Ta. I have Looks Natural, which is a clear gloss. Looks a little cloudy right now, but it's a clear gloss. And then I have the shade that I fell in love with, which is 2CC's, the pinky hue. These are so good, and then they smell like cinnamon, and they're supposed to plump your lips a little bit. It actually smells like pink bubblegum tape. You remember that smell? That's what it smells like, and that's so nostalgic to me. They smell so good. They're so comforting. I absolutely love these so much. Any shade that you get would be fantastic. I also have the red shade that I love, but my two most worn shades would be the clear one and then the pink one. So in love with those. And then I also fell in love with the Lawless Forget the Filler Lip Plumping Line Smoothing Gloss. So I tried out the Patrick Ta one first, and then because I fell in love with that kind of formulation, I was like, oh, is there another formulation on the market that I should also try out? And that's when I discovered, oh my god, the Lawless version. So this one is also a plumping gloss, and it's so glossy and comfortable, and it smells so good. These are so fun, and I've never been into plumping products because I don't want my lips to sting, but these are comfortable and they're so shiny and so glossy, and they really make your lips look plump and juicy. So I'm so in love with these. I love them so much. Oh my god. And then finally, we have the By Terry Balm de Rose liquid like kind of lip balm. I love the pot lip balm. It's my favorite lip balm. It's what I sleep in nightly, and I mean nightly, okay? And even though it's pricey, I see the value in it because it lasts me months and months, even up to a year, even though I'm using it nightly. So I definitely get my money's worth out of them. And I decided to try the liquid lip balm, and this is a mini, okay? It's so good. It's exactly like a liquid version of that pot lip balm, and I love it. If I just want a comfortable little situation, like my lips are going through it, which my lips don't really go through it, okay? My lips, okay, I'm so proud of them. They're self-sustaining, they're very independent, they don't need a lot from me, but I owe that to the By Terry lip balm. If I'm honest with you, I think that just keeps my lips looking sexy all day. They're not dry, they don't peel. just top notch. And so I figured throughout the day, I'm not gonna walk around with the lip balm, you know, but I could, oh, it fell. But I could definitely grab the liquid lip balm and go with that. And it has come in the clutch. It's comfy, it's cozy. I love it so much. So I wanted to wrap up with that lip balm. So there you have it, guys. Those are all my favorite products of 2022. I was able to film this video before the end of the year, and I'm so happy because I was excited to share these products with you. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Maybe some of my favorite products are also some of your favorites. So let me know down below. And if you have other favorites that didn't quite make my countdown, let me know as well, because there's probably something I want to try out next year. Y'all just let me know if there's some stellar product that you found this year that you want me to try out because you think it's so great. And I love getting recommendations from you guys, because at the end of the day, I'm not able to try out every single product on the market. And sometimes there's some hidden gems from brands that I don't know about or I'm not checking for that you guys have discovered. And I really enjoy hearing about your favorites as well. So leave them down below in the comments. And I will also leave links to my Instagram and Twitter, where you should be following me along. And until my next video, which will be very soon, I hope you guys are enjoying the holidays and staying safe. I love you so much, and I thank you for your support during this year. It has been a fun one for me, and I am just excited for the new year, and I'm looking forward to exciting new things. So until my next video, which will be very soon, I'll talk to you. Bye, guys.